Colors come and go, and right now, green is definitely having its moment. But there are some trends that fail, and here's one. What makes it interesting is the mix of eras, trends, colors with the classic elements that really are the backbone of the space. Hi, I'm Shirley Meisels, Principal Designer of M House Inc. and founder of WHouse Inc. And today I want to talk about style and what makes it timeless. I'll often get calls from clients looking to hire me because I'm not afraid to use color and have a little twist or something that's a little bit off in each of my projects. Clients can't always articulate exactly what it is about my work that attracts them, but what I think it is that I'm able to capture a trendy look and still remain timeless at the same time. I'll often go to clients' homes 10, 15 years later and walk through and think, wow, this is really held up. I might tweak a bit here or there, but overall, the spaces feel timeless. And here's how to do it. When I'm laying the groundwork for a home, meaning everything that's attached to the home, really difficult to change, I like to think of it as dressing in a suit if it's a more formal home, or maybe a great pair of jeans and a t-shirt if it's a casual space. You need your base layer first that can take any accessory, any extra layer to change it up and make it feel more current. So I'm always going to start with things that are classic, timeless, and difficult or expensive to change. So think classic moldings. Wood tones that are neutral enough, finishes and fittings that are steeped in history and will stand the test of time. So think mid-century or turn of the century. The base is always recognizable and familiar in some way. Then I'm going to start with the furniture, the wallpaper, drapery, and the art. Here you can have a little bit more fun, but even in this case, the larger, more expensive pieces, I'll still try and keep them a little more classic and steeped in history so that there's something familiar about them, something that you've seen before and feels accessible and comfortable. And then the next step, adding trendy pieces in, whether it be the style, color, finish, whatever. I'll sprinkle bits of that throughout the home to add a little spice and to keep the space feeling modern and fresh. But trends change, people change, their likes and dislikes change. So in 5 years, 10 years, all they have to do is change out some of those trendy items, and then you're back to your basics. You're back to that black suit or that jeans and t-shirt. One way to stay on trend, don't stick to them. Don't stick to one look or one trend. So mix eras, mix shapes, mix suppliers. Pull it all together in a way that feels organic and soulful. So for example, there's always trending colors. Right now it's deep, rich tones. I love using them, but I won't do the whole home in those tones. I'll add hits of those deep, rich colors in certain areas in the home so that when they go, and they will, it's easy to change. So for example, when we look at this kitchen, I've used white panel cabinetry mixed with a classic mid-toned herringbone floor. In the banquette area, I've combined a mid-century modern tulip table with a deep cognac-colored banquette. I've paired all of this with modern lighting. You'll see over the kitchen island, I've used trendy monopoint lights. And over the table, a clean modern pendant mixed with these vintage wall sculptures that I found at a Paris flea market. So this mix of quirky and warm and traditional makes the space feel livable, on trend, but still classic at the same time. Strip away those trendy items, change the color of the banquette, and you still are left with a white classic kitchen. There are lots of trends that are so easy to blend in. Right now, fluting is everywhere. It can be rounded, concave, thin, thick, it doesn't matter. It's just everywhere. I love using it, but in very specific places. Take, for example, this fireplace. We've clad the base in a fluted travertine stone. By doing it in a classic stone, there's an added element of elegance and permanence. And since we didn't overdo it, if it goes out of style, it's not that invasive to go over it and cover it. So colors come and go. And right now, green is definitely having its moment. In this home, I've used it in the powder room. Here I've clad the walls in this incredible dark green tile and used a high gloss paint on the walls. What's amazing about this is that we're definitely on trend. The mirror, the lighting, everything is quite classic, but it's easy enough to change the color of the tile and the paint when that dark green becomes dated. Finally, if you're into design at all and you haven't yet used micro cement, then you're falling behind. But like anything, too much of a good thing, and I think you're going to find yourself in trouble. So I won't use it everywhere. I will use it on my projects, but in very specific areas. So again, smaller contained spaces that are less expensive and less invasive to change up. Because again, it will go out of style. When? We don't know, but it's going to happen. So one of my favorite bathrooms of all time is this gorgeous, luxurious primary suite. I just love the way we've tucked the water closet and the shower behind the wall and trimmed it all in classic moldings. We've used dark gray cabinetry mixed with Carrara marble hex tile, and altogether it has this feeling of being steeped in tradition. But what's interesting about it is that we've covered all the walls in micro cement, right over the molding. And just by using that trendy material, it suddenly feels more youthful and of the moment. You'll also notice that the color of the micro cement is much warmer than the dark gray of the vanities. A few years ago, you could not get away from gray. Gray was everywhere. And now, warmer tones are all the rage. Creams, tans, taupes, that kind of thing. We're even moving into darker tones. So colors will change, but by mixing them together, you're not sort of pigeonholed into one look. What's old is new, and what's new is old. Everything is cyclical and will come in and add a style. Trust me on that one. The home that I've been highlighting was actually quite a stretch for me. I'm typically a little bit more modern than what the clients were requesting. This home is steeped in history, lots of tradition. What makes it interesting is the mix of eras and trends and colors with the classic elements that really are the backbone of the space. And when I say classic, it doesn't have to be traditional. It could be modern, but just classically modern. There are 5 trends that I think will always stand the test of time. White marble. White marble is always in style. Think about Europe. Europe was like built on white marble. The second, kitchen islands. Everybody loves a kitchen island. I don't see those going anywhere anytime soon. Herringbone floors. Again, a classic that people just love. How about classic moldings? Think Parisian apartment. And lastly, quality. Whatever you do, get the best quality you can possibly afford. It is sure to stand the test of time. The 5 places where we played with trends in this home: the dark green in the powder room, the fluted fireplace, the micro cement we used in the primary bathroom and on the upper portion of the fireplace, the moody hues we used in the library and the office, and integrating the LED lights in the bar, and lastly, the black steel doors in the front hall vestibule. So there you have it, some ways to include trends in your home and have your space stand the test of time. But there are some trends that fail. And here's one. The white high gloss cabinet or furniture is gone. It has just tanked. And the reason I think is because it was inexpensive to produce and so widely used that everybody began using it. As soon as you start to see it in big box stores and home improvement spaces, you know that the trend is over. So in order to achieve a timeless look, but one that still feels trendy, I have a checklist. I'm going to start with a classic base. Anything that's attached to the home or difficult and expensive to change will be fairly neutral and easy to live with. Then I'm going to add my trendy touches. I'm going to layer in furnishings, special finishes here and there that are going to keep the home feeling on trend. Next, I'm not going to stick to one color palette. I'm going to mix in colors throughout the home. I'm going to sprinkle neutrals that are not all the same throughout the space. And finally, I'm going to encourage my clients to invest in the best quality they can possibly afford. Quality merchandise, whether it be finishes or furniture, is well designed, well made, made of the best materials on the market, and will stand the test of time. I've been doing this a long time, over 20 years. I started with smaller projects, and now I'm working on much larger projects. I started WHouse because, honestly, you don't know what you don't know. I share so much information, everything that I've learned over the last 20 years in my Design Wisdom course. I also have design bites. They're sort of like cheat sheets. Everything that we use, every measurement and procedure that we use at House Inc. that has gotten us to the point where we're building these huge luxury homes. And if that's not enough support, you can absolutely book a one-on-one with me. I can be there throughout your whole project, sort of in the background, almost like a ghostwriter. Nobody even has to know that I'm there. How great is that? Check out the links below and subscribe. I can't wait to share more tips and tricks with you.